Hello everybody, we're here again with a deck profile, and this is a pure Predaplant deck. This is something people have been asking for in the comments, so we're going to give it a try, and we're going to play it for a few hours and see how the deck performs. And then we're going to do the recap like we normally do. We have Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion's extremely powerful with this new Predaplant monster, which lets us search. It's also a second way of summoning Darling Tonia, which can get your Super Poly. So if you can't get your one of Scorpio, now you have a way of getting Super Poly again, which obviously is really annoying for opponents, and it's very good at breaking boards. Also, we have the new boss monster, Starving Veta Predaplant Power Fusion Dragon, which is insanely powerful. This effect is like nuts. Like, first of all, the first effect is like good too. Obviously, it's really good. Tribute one monster on the field with Predaplant count if you do negate the activation. And the second part is insanely good. So if this card is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, target one dark monster in the graveyard, special summon it. So it pretty much has 2 lives. And the reason I say 2 lives is because it says if this fusion summoned monster. So when it comes back from the graveyard, unfortunately, it doesn't count as fusion summoned anymore. So it pretty much has 2 lives. But big body, pretty good boss monster. I'm going to say it's a good pass on my part. Other cards that we got that were new is Bofucolia, which is, this card is a pendulum effect. It's pretty much like fusion summon. That's pretty much what it does. And if you use this material as fusion summon, you get to get a monster from your extra deck, assuming it's another pendulum monster, and add it to your hand. Another card that we have is Triantis, which allows us to use pendulum monsters for fusion, which is also pretty damn good with these new cards. We're running Lone Fire Blossom. That's obvious for the Scorpio. It's also good with Predaplant Chlamydia. And yeah. And, another new card is Bisplips. This card's really good because if it's sent to the graveyard from anywhere, for any reason, you can add a Predaplant monster from your deck to your hand. So, very, very good card. And lastly, this card, you guys already know what this does. A lot of these cards are like old cards, so yeah, let's get to it, and we'll figure out if the deck's good or not. Hello, everybody. We're here again with, this is game number 1, you know? I'm not sure why I said here again, but we're playing against Victor. And he played 1 card face down and fucking passed, so. We're getting max seed immediately, but this is why we have cross out in the deck. GG. And Victor just got outplayed. And we get our instant fusion, which goes into... This card's insane. This card's really, really, really good. And then we get Effect Veilered. So I guess we'll never find out if it's rude. Just never find out, I guess. But we're going to use Lone Fire to special summon Orpheus. And we also have the... And this is triggering. So our opponent's pretty much countering everything we got. Pretty neat. And then we go into Bofucolia, and we're going to fusion summon again. We were going to go into drag, and our opponent just concedes. Well, that's what we got. It is what it is. Here we are with game number 2, and yeah, our hand's actually looking pretty ass. Pretty sweet so far. Alright, this hand actually does like almost negative. And then we get to play against our opponent playing Runic. So far having a blast. He banished like nothing, so he was able to recycle 2 cards in his hand. This deck is so triggering to play against. We have Ash Blossom, but honestly our turn is looking kind of rough. Not gonna lie. Keeps getting life points. Neato. Okay. Here we go. We're going to go into Nightmare Phoenix. Blisp is going to do something. We're gonna see if we can actually do something here. Oh, nope. Gets negated by the runic wings. Never fucking mind. Then we get Gozen matched. I fucking hate this game. This game sucks. Why do you guys even play this shit? Why do I put myself through this? It's like I'm a suffer for punishment. I'm a sucker for punishment? I think that's how it goes. I also have a toothache happening right now. Kind of fucking... It adds to the pain of playing this game. I can't tell what's more painful, though. My toothache or fucking playing against Runic. It's definitely a fucking close one. I don't know. What is he not drawing anything? Like, he's taken fucking 10 years ago. Okay. What? Get an Ultra Poly into Chimera. Trigger, baby. He's going to activate Grave of the Super Ancient Orgasm. Interesting. So here's a misplay. I should have used this ability, Triantis, to activate on this, because this would have made it a level 1. And I wouldn't be affected by this shit. Well, we're going to go into Amb. Amb is going to... And our opponent DC'd. Well, we got... This is the only way we're getting wins against Runic. Pretty fucking neat. Let's see what we're going to talk about next. Hey guys, I normally don't do this, but that deck sucked a fat cock. I'm gonna straight up say, I don't care what people say. Pure Predaplant is just not very good. I would say, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I would say Pure Predaplant is good in certain formats. Like if we're playing against branded every game, I think it's probably decent. It's probably good, right? But like, dude, if you are playing against like a bunch of, like if you're not playing cards, like you're not playing against decks that the archetype doesn't, because what the archetype wants to do is use your opponent's monsters, suck them up, and then play your own boss monsters. You can't really fucking do that when you're playing against Runic half the fucking time, or you're playing against other shit half the time that has no relevancy to the extra deck or anything like that. So we're upgrading the deck. We're gonna be playing branded Predaplant because it's honestly the better version. It's way better. Not only is it just way better because you have Mirror Jade, it's a lot easier, I feel like, to go into Starving Venom, right? Because you can go into Starving Venom with the branded banishment. Easier to go into Guardian Chimera, especially on your opponent's turn with Brandon Red, which is a very powerful play. It's just overall I feel like it's just way better. So we're gonna go into some matches with this and see how this performs, because the other deck I was playing was not performing well. We dropped 2 ranks. We went from Duelist rank 17 to Duelist rank 15. So that was pretty neat. Just losing every game. Fucking fun. Alright, let's get into the games. Hello guys, we're back with a deck that doesn't suck complete ass. And playing against Zodiac. Zodiac, I don't even know what to say, dude. This fucking head, this toothache is killing me. It's also like 3 o'clock in the morning. Which also makes me wanna fucking blow up. Alright, he's gonna go into Wandering Griffin. Annoying, yes. Honestly, I'm just gonna speed through this. Jesus. Well, this is actually a really annoying board because Super Poly hits nothing on this fucking field. Great. I'm trying to force him to use his fucking cards. Alright, before I use Branded Fusion, I need to force him to use this shit. So we're going to activate that. He pops. Thank you. Thank you for getting with the program. I can now destroy you. That's all I wanted. And then we're going to have this branded fusion. We're going to have Super Poly is going to be a discard outlet now. But then we have Biplips. Biplips is going to let us add a card to hand. We had Chlamydia. Boom, boom. Mirror Jade. Boom. Coolio. Neato. Pop. And we get rid of our Mirror Jade. Awesome. I didn't even want this Mirror Jade. Fucking smells. Well, surely my opponent's not going to draw anything nuts, is he? Alright, well, he's got the Water Enchantress. KK. Neato. He's going to activate Rite of Emir Seer. We're just going to Branded Fusion of Brandon Red, and we're going to go into Guardian. We have to destroy Fateful, or else he's going to keep recycling fucking Griffin, and I don't want to punch my mouth. I don't want to slam my head into the fucking concrete right now. So, this is what we're doing. I apologize for the cussing, too. I have tooth pain, and it makes me fucking angry. And then he has a random Time Lord. Out of nowhere. Just Time Lord. Yep, Time Lord. So he was able to deal with Chimera immediately. Like, alright, well, we're just going to wait until Time Lord goes away. You can't top deck anything that crazy. And then I get burned. I don't even know what the hell I'm playing against. I don't know. This isn't a Duelist Cup. Actually, this isn't a Duelist Cup. This is Ranked. What the hell? Why did I play Ranked? Oh, I think I wanted to test this out before I swap to the Duelist Cup. Well, this explains it. He goes into Zeus. 5 material Zeus. Most people would say, wow, that's a problem. But we found Imperm. So we're actually kind of fine. We also have Ghost Ogre, so if he does use it, it's not that big of a deal. I banished Trident. Honestly, horrible banish. Probably should. It doesn't really matter what you banish here, right? Like, all these cards don't really do any that much. He only has 5 cards left in the deck. Yeah, things are looking pretty rough. Then we top deck Branded Opening, which is honestly the godsend. Which lets us actually come back this game. I can tell you right now, if I was playing pure Predaplant, we're not fucking coming back from this. We're losing this. The Predaplant deck wasn't even playing Imperms. It was playing 1. Okay. Banish. Normal summon. Fusion is a Starving Venom. I guess I should have Starving Venom before. I would have more damage. He was dead though. I had Snow in the graveyard too. Because his deck runs Snow. Because, you know, it's not bad. Alrighty, we're back for game number 2. And we are in the Duelist Cup again. So, I was like wondering why I had one game randomly that was in Ranked. But I think I just wanted to test it out first. Get the water wet, you know? Get the feetsies wet. But we go into Lebellion. Lebellion's gonna do that. And here we go. Mirror Jade, Ice Blade Dragon. Predaplant practice. That was horrible, by the way. I don't know if you guys caught that. I added the wrong card to my hand. I added the Predaplanting to hand. I was supposed to add a fucking monster to hand, right? Because if you add a monster to hand, you discard to this, and then I could set up and got an extra, like, I don't know. I could either got a Branded Fusion for next turn, or I could have gotten a Super Poly, right? And then I probably... there's no way for me to fuse into anything though here. Or honestly, Predaplant practice, instead of doing that, maybe I should have gone for maybe I should use Predaplant and gone for the frog, which lets me fusion summon, so I could fusion summon into something not useless. That's an idea. What do I fusion summon into? The Lord knows. Normally we can get drag onto the field, but we didn't open it. We kind of opened a bit poor. No. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think we opened a little poor too. Because we could have gotten instant fusion from the deck too. Kind of comboed with that. So our opponent is playing Labyrinth. And we got Dimension Barrier. Just attack with everything. Just beat his face in. Set Imperm. Activates Labyrinth again. Honestly, even this deck, the Predaplant deck was having a hard time against. Like, the pure Predaplant deck was having a hard time against. Because you have to use your opponent's monsters. And, like, by the time they get, like, a bunch of monsters on the field, they have a lot of protection, right? I don't know. I feel like it was really hard. Whereas, like, the mirror, like, the whole branded combo, like, sometimes you just win just off of that shit. And then you have the Predaplant stuff that complements it pretty well. I still think, I don't know. Personally, we'll talk about it more in the recap, how I think about this deck. We protect our card. We're going to Branded Fusion here. He's going to fucking Dimension Barrier me again. Love this game. This game's awesome, dude. I love being able to play it. So he's going to activate Labyrinth, which allows him to grab a trap, I think, from the graveyard. Or notice, lets him special summon a monster. There we go. Then we activate Preda Pre-Planning. This is going to add a card to my hand. We add Chlamydia. But we can't activate it now, right? Because the fusions, we can't activate fusions. Kind of annoying. This is why this guy's name's Alone, because he's alone in real life. He'll never have anyone that loves him. And that's why he conceded. GG. Let's go to the next one. Hello, everybody. We're playing against Ethan. Ethan. Is that how you spell Ethan in certain countries? I don't even know. Seems odd. Oh, we're doing our combos. Just comboing off. A lot of Predaplant shit happening. Bofokula. Dude, this is just not the deck for me, dude. I can barely pronounce like regular words as it is. It's just too much words for me. I'm too stupid. I'm so stupid. Alright, we're gonna go Mirror Jade. Instant Fusion. Bada bing. Bam. Oh. Oh, baby. I actually think we kind of fucked up here. I think we could have had a better end board. So hear me out, I think what we could have done, right? Hear me out on this. I think we could have activated Instant Fusion, right? Instant Fusion. Oh, wait. Did I add that afterwards? Never mind. We couldn't have done that. Never mind. Take it all back. If I had Instant Fusion naturally in my hand, we could have had a better end board. But this isn't like the worst end board. Boom, boom. I didn't activate Mirror Jade's effect because there was, like, I don't think there was any positive. I guess I could have gone for Guardian Chimera, but I think this is fine enough, too. So this is a big misplay, though. My opponent's branded in red for Tragedy, and honestly, I should have just Mirror Jaded the Ice Blade. Like, honestly, instead of dragging this, I should have just Mirror Bladed the Ice Blade. I Mirror Jaded the Fallen, is what I'm saying. I should have just done that because it would have saved me a headache. I would have had this charge still. So I think I think 9 times out of 10 you just want to do this to that. Because now look, he goes into Libellion for free. Because I already had a counter to his Branded Fusion. Wasn't that big of a deal. And now he's actually able to do stuff, right? Where if he normally did this play, He'd have to work way harder because I would drag his Lubellion. So now he adds that, and then he's going to add the other card to his hand. And he's going to go for the banish. Honestly, kind of, I thought this was an odd choice in banishing. Getting rid of instead of sending the Albaz. But you know, it's the Duelist Cup, so I can't check what these people are running. Dude, this is just a fiesta, dude. I feel like every game I've played was a fiesta. Like, on both ends. Polymerization, boom. Masquerade. Now, like, if I was playing the pure Predaplant deck against this shit, I feel like I would have a good time. It would be a fun time against it. Because I'd be running 2 Super Pies. There's a lot more cards that, like just steal your opponent's monsters. We're going to go for Branded Banishment here. Not sure how I feel about it. But we're going to go Starving Venom. We're just going to activate fucking... I'm just going to melt myself by doing this. Not sure if this is a good idea or not. You know? Let's see if Ethan, if he's got the chops. Boom. Boom. Bring back our guy. We're at 2.1. This looks fucking crazy, by the way. The reason why I went to 2.1, by the way, you'll see. I purposely went to 2.1 so I could go into Verte, activate Verte to go into another Mirror Jade. And then I could have a Mirror Jade in the graveyard to bring back to fusion summon possibly into Starving Venom. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. Or we could even Brandon in red, use both of these to go into the boss fusion, Starving Venom. And this is the reason why, because look, he has 100 points of damage on the board now. Bam. Going to the boss monster. Is it actually going to do anything? Probably not. They could eat up the attack, so. He goes... Dude, I swear to God, I would have done something here before this happened. I did not realize... Dude, not many of these decks are running drag, so, like, I was not expecting it. But he goes into 107, which I'm honestly fine with because... We're going to go into Mirror Jade. I wish he would. He activates his effect, which is going to negate all monsters on the field. We're going to activate Mirror Jade's effect to fucking banish it. Goodbye. He has to just pass. Drag can't attack. Normal summon. Bam. We have just enough for lethal. Boom. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Shit, we kind of won that well with the skin of our ass cheeks. Hello, everybody. We're back at the recap, and this is going to be the recap of recaps because we're going to recap everything. If you stayed this long, I like to say thank you for watching, and it's much appreciated. And if you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing because I work hard on these videos. It would help me out. And I also put myself through torture so you don't have to, which is another type of hell for me. But either way, I also join our Discord. Like, I always forget to say this, but like, I don't actually forget to say this. But join our Discord. It's fucking lit. We're also having a tournament that's going on this Friday. It's pretty lit. So why don't you join? Join it. Join the Discord. Find out. It's in the description. All right, let's go to the recap. So, how did both decks perform? Well, you know, earlier in the video, I said that pure Predaplants did horrible. How horrible did it do? 3 wins and 10 losses with the deck. 3 wins, 10 losses. I actually think I might have had more because I did drop ranks twice. So, I don't know. The reasoning why is because you're playing against Runic, you're playing against a ton of back row decks, and the deck just couldn't take advantage of the current meta. It just couldn't. I don't know what to tell you. How did I do with this deck? This deck was like a 50-50. I'm going to be honest. It still wasn't that great, but it was definitely a lot better because you had those branded engines that are just good in any matchup, right? Like you summon shit like Mirror Jade, or yeah, you play like Mirror Jade onto the field. It's just good in any matchup. It's a 3,000 beat stick that's easy to summon, and it lets you banish. So even if you're playing as Runic, you can banish their boss, their fusion monsters, so they can't protect their back row. And then we also are running 2 Cosmic Cyclones in this list just to help combat some of these back row decks. You could be saying, hey, Fatzoid, how come you're not running Harpies? Well, these Runic decks, they can protect against Harpies, and they can also recycle their cards. Like, they have a lot of cards that just recycle everything, so it doesn't really get rid of the problem, which is the field spell. That all being said, I think this deck definitely performed, like, even at going 50%, it just, dude, that's, like, astronomically better. And you could argue, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to put it all on the deck. You could argue, Fatzoid, you fucking suck ass. I don't think I suck, but maybe the deck is just not my cup of tea. I'm not 100% sure. I think I played the deck fine. There were a few, I'm not going to lie, there were a few instances where you just forget, oh, why did I summon this? Or why did I put this on the field? You know what I mean? Like, there are a few instances where that happens. But that's just from me not playing the deck a whole ton. You know what I mean? So it could be just I'm more comfortable with branded, and that's why it performed better. But I really do think it was matchup dependent, because if you're playing pure, like let's go back, like let's just go real quick. I normally never do this, but let's just look at pure Predaplant, right? These cards are like built to just suck your opponent's cards up, right? It's built to just steal your opponent's cards, and then use them against them by making these huge boss monsters. Guess what? Who would have known it's hard to go into some of these if you're not playing against any of the decks that actually fuse or play even dark monsters? You know how many decks I played against that did not use dark monsters at all? So it's like, well, kind of using yourself. I would say perhaps making this deck, if we're just going to really ballpark it, we did talk about in stream that probably adding kaijus, like the Dark Kaiju, I think his name's Raiden, adding the Dark Kaiju to the deck could help with using your opponent's monsters. But still, it was still kind of tough. And if you compare that to this deck's so much easier to use your opponent's monsters, right? Like, yeah, you're not going to get too many opportunities with Predaplanting and stuff to, like, really just suck up all your opponent's monsters. But when you do, you have more options to go into. And we can also argue that Branded's a pretty popular deck, even though I didn't play against it that much. The times I did play against it, I did very well against them. I think I won most of them, just because we were running a way of tutoring Super Poly. Anytime we can search out Super Poly, my opponent can't. So I mean, you're obviously gonna have a pretty good time with that. But other than that, I thought the deck was all right. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna say it's an 8. Like, I feel like, if I'm gonna be honest, I feel like it makes Branded worse, because I know this sounds crazy, but it ruins the consistency of Branded. So some of the broken shit Branded can do, where you're playing Ad Libitum and Tragedy and stuff, you kind of have to replace it with these Predaplant monsters that don't really interact very well with your Branded cards. So, like, honestly, Branded's just a better deck. Like, if you're just playing Branded, it's just better. It just makes Branded worse. I don't know. It's like I'm playing a worse version of Branded deck. It's like I'm playing a worse version of Branded that's better in the Branded matchup mirror. Like, it's better in the mirror. Like, you shouldn't lose the mirror with this deck. Like, this deck, you should probably win most of the mirror matches. That's all I'm going to say about that. On a tier scaling, obviously this is probably still like a tier 3, tier 2. I mean, the only reason I'm going to say it's a tier 3, tier 2 is just because how strong Branded is. Because if Branded wasn't so strong, it definitely wouldn't even be on the tier list. It'd be a rogue deck. But I think Branded's a tier 1 deck still. This is, I'm going to say it's a tier 2. But Runic is just absolutely mowing everyone right now. It's very annoying. And I know there are counter options to it, which is why we have the Cosmic Cyclones. We could add Artifact Lancias, but Artifact Lancias in a deck that I'm already kind of having a tough time not, like, bricking. Like, I brick sometimes. It's just not, it's not somewhere you really want to be. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. I might get a lot of hate for this, but it is what it is. I'd rather tell the truth than just lie and just try and find a bunch of clips that make me look good. I hope you guys have a good one, and let me know down in the comments what you want to see next, and maybe it is played next. Who knows?